Hi, you guys. Welcome back to the Bridge by Three. I'm Kayla.
And I'm Candace.
And today, Kanisha will not be joining us or for any further recordings. Unfortunately, we've lost our third host, but we are entering a new era of the Bridge by Three, and we are very excited.
Yes.
And I'm very excited to have such in depth conversations and bring you guys sort of into our brain. And I feel like in this episode, you'll see a bit more of that. And today, we're going to be talking about the current state of our country and how that relates to intergenerational relationships and work and what we need to do to be in community and actually keep ourselves afloat and keep ourselves healthy and get us out of this. The government is shut down as at this current time, and people are feeling the effects of that. And it's a very scary place to be in as someone in college. And it's very interesting. What came about with this discussion was like our elders or the older generation has dealt with multiple recessions in one lifetime and so much other things, seeing grassroots movements like on the streets, seeing despair, seeing horrible things. And I think that that in one lifetime is kind of crazy as I'm accepting like what life really looks like and really being in the real world. It's like so jarring as a
Yeah.
young person to see that. So I feel as if the older generations, we spoke in another podcast about like the role of the elder and what it means to have mentors. And I think that now more than ever, I'm looking to history and those patterns and those efforts that people have put forth to see what to do next. Because it's like,
Yeah.
what do we do?
We've definitely been here before. You know what I'm saying? When we say been here before, what is here? Here is a place, a society where rights are being taken away right in front of our eyes, right? We already experienced the Roe versus Wade and how those rights were taken away. We already saw in certain states how women, were losing the right to have a say over their bodies when it came to needing an abortion or not getting an abortion. We're seeing, we already saw book bans, right? In certain states, book bans happening where we're now living in a place where we're seeing the efforts to, or what happens when leaders try to now erase history, right in front of our
Right in
face.
front of our face, like so blatant.
Literally, and actually like trying to whitewash it, right? As if black and brown people didn't play a role, our roles weren't significant, we just here, taking away our right to vote, that being on the chopping block as for black people right now. That's something that I felt like we were not. I don't know if that went over a lot of our heads. I know that the night that I read about that, I was just going crazy. Like,
It was
what the fuck?
huge. And then it's like this news cycle, this media cycle that it's like so many things happening at once.
Yeah.
And another thing is like they've desensitized us so much.
Yeah.
Since COVID, we've been desensitized from just crazy stuff happening. And you were talking about the effect of movies and like music. And I'm thinking like just social media in general and just how much information our brains take in. We dim these huge things down and we're not angry enough. I'm seeing a
Yeah.
lot of conversation about just not being angry enough. It's like, do we all want to stay in this same prison? Are we all going to agree to stay in this prison or are we going to fight? And it's very scary, like how complacent people are. And I think that what you mentioned about censorship is a huge thing for the younger generation to really understand when you're in your social studies classes and when you're doing these current events reports and writing about what's going on in the world. I don't want you to feel like overwhelmed or what can I do? Because I remember doing those reports and thinking and feeling really passionate about it. That's where my passion came from. And that's why I wanted to go into the work that I want to do with my
Social
career.
justice.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I saw like the efforts that were put in the legislation that was passed and how easily that can be just deterred. But anyway, I did read Fahrenheit 451, and it is a classic thing to read. And maybe might be your last chance to read a book like that. So I really recommend for everyone, no matter the age, but especially younger generation, to get your attention span together when it comes to social media and start reading the classics, reading The Catcher in the Rye, Fahrenheit 51, like
450.
451, yes, and just understand Animal Farm. Okay, let's understand fascism. Let's understand um grips on power. Watch Scandal. Watching Scandal right now is giving me a very interesting like view of power and presidency and what the government actually means. You know, it's we the people, and for in our constitution, you know, that has really separated black people and people of color. And I think that now is more of a time because we're so diverse and we have social media and we can talk to each other and we have this empathy with each other, and we all went through COVID and we all felt the devastation of these natural disasters as we have in previous times. But I think now more than ever, it's important for us to use our voices. People on social media are, you know, being like, I'm going to be on a watch list by saying this, but I'm going to say it
Right.
because this is happening now. And you know, you have to commend those people because like you said, like it's no fun and games anymore. Like we need to, people are using their platforms, people that were funny on social media. If you guys know who Spence Watt is in the Daily Screams, like he's like talking about what's going on right now, and I'm obsessed with it because and we need like people, Caucasian people, to like use their voice as well, and they are, and I think that's lovely.
I've been seeing a lot of memes lately, or not even memes, videos that where people now, what do you think about this? Where black people are feeling like they're going to sit this one out.
Yeah.
You know, black people, I feel like there's some black people that are feeling like this ain't nothing new to us. You know what I'm saying? It's only now where the leaders and what they're doing in the government is affecting white masses now, in which there's such a real large outrage, you know, and outcry, and it's like, oh my God, what's happening? What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? Black people looking like, yeah, what are y'all gonna do? Because this is not really new. Sadly, right? This is not really new to us, and if you want to get real about it, are we even, as black people, are we even a whole person still right now in the Constitution? No, we're still 3/5. You know, right now, what are we going up against? They want to threaten to take away the black person's vote. They want to, in certain states, as far as the electoral votes, like minimize people's electoral votes and black people's electoral votes in
Yep.
certain states as well, to, you know, try to take away their voices. Basically, all these things are happening, and for us, it's been happening. You know, we are people, I feel, that are very resilient, and we always find a way to get through, to push through, to persevere,
To bring joy.
to bring joy, right? And in the midst of it, we
Liveliness.
having fun. We gonna turn up somewhere. We gonna
Yep.
you gonna hear music. You gonna hear chanting. You might hear some junk. You're gonna hear the vibration of us, of our people, because this is what we've been enjoying for so long. And now, yes, it does feel, at least in America, actually, it does feel like all over the world, you know? There's protests happening all over the world.
Yep.
There are protests happening all over the world for America, okay? And we're usually ones protesting for other countries. And now people are protesting in their streets all around the world for us. What is that saying about us? What is that saying for how we're looking as Americans to people in all over the world? You know, we're supposed to be here enjoying the land of the free, right? That's what it was supposed to be. But now everything is being unveiled. Now all the quote unquote conspiracy theories, now things are coming to light. Hold on, wait, maybe this was the agenda, right? Now we're seeing the agenda unfold. Now we're seeing how real and how close we are to American economy going to the shit, okay,
Collapsing
to the American
completely.
dollar going to the wayside. Now we're seeing the plan that was set up for. Now there's no SNAP for November, and mind you, who makes up the majority of people who are getting SNAP benefits? It's not black people, okay. So, but they like to portray us as if we are the ones, right, that just sit back and collect and don't work. But if you actually look at numbers and statistics, you will see that it's not us.
And it's all that narrative that gets so like precisely written and fed that it's only getting worse with like so much stuff being bought and like ads being bought and things being a propaganda, just propaganda directly in our faces. And I also think that like when we talk about who's being affected, we all have to sit back and think about us as one and us as humans and go back to that natural fact because we can't let ourselves forget that. And I don't think that that's strained or we're in a place right now in our time where we don't have empathy for each other. Like I'm seeing a lot of empathy, which is great and
Yeah.
very like hopeful. And I think that in other places in the world, like you said, like they're seeing it and they're living these lives where work comes second to community and to play and they're living just maybe more joyously than we are. And when we focus on money and we focus on power and that gap is getting so broad that it's right in our faces and we're all seeing it, it's only a matter of time. I believe in the age of Aquarius, not to get woo woo, but like
Age
things
of
have been,
Aquarius,
yes, things have been coming
age of
out. Things have just, yeah.
Aquarius.
It's like the pendulum is swinging.
I think now more than ever, it's like you got to be Ray Charles, and even Ray Charles could see at this point that how this capitalistic society is really working, how we the people feed this capitalist
Yep.
society, and now we need to really like when it comes to the boycotts that are being discussed, the protests and things like that. What really runs this country? Money. How can we really affect the make a effective change in this country? Where we putting our dollars?
Yep.
And I think that that is really the best way. At this point in time, I know that we already see the plan, right? Where there's military in the streets. I spoke to a friend of mine yesterday who lives close to the D.C. area, and she was telling me they're all over the place. You know,
DC is a wild place to be right now.
yeah,
Oof.
yeah. She said that they're all over the place. And I just imagine, I mean, I remember that when it was 9/11 time, when they were all over the place, but it was for different reasons, right? Now this is for us.
Yeah.
Now these military people, the National Guard, is out here to potentially have to go against us, not to protect us, not to stand up for us. I watched a clip today where this New York police officer was standing up to ICE agents in New York, saying, "You guys are breaking the law. I am a police officer. I work for the law. I uphold the law. You guys are breaking it. You need to get out of here." You understand? Like, and even with that, even with thinking about ICE and how they present as thugs, they present as tough guys, tough women who are just coming to take, do, kidnap, basically, right? But there's power in the masses, and I think this is the time where we are seeing that there's power in the masses, and people really need to stand up because there is power in the masses. But if you are not going to use your power and you're not going to be a part of the masses, then guess what? You're not a part of the forward movement and the forward action that needs to be taking place right now. Like we got to be on some Harriet Tubman shit. Like,
And there's no choice anymore. There's no choice in whether or not to like you're going to feel the effects either way. Like it can't be that American sense of, oh, it's happening and I feel bad, but it's not happening to me. Like no, like it's happening
and
to
it's going to
everyone.
affect everyone. And it doesn't matter your economic status because at the end of the day, look at what they're setting up for. You want to cut EBT food stamps for however many majority of people that need it in America. Now what's going to happen? And then this is holiday time. This is Thanksgiving time. This is Christmas time. This is all the times where now we can see how much this capitalistic society was profiting off of things like that. Now people can't even focus on that. I was already choosing not to, but couldn't even do it. People can't even do it if they want to right now because what comes at the forefront of that? Eating, having food on the table, being able to feed and clothe your family.
Regular human
right?
rights that are in jeopardy.
Right. Basic human rights in jeopardy. And that is what we need to be paying attention to, because guess what? Those families now, you can't get, I know if I can't get whatever I need to feed my children, my babies especially, I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I gotta do to get it. I'm gonna go get it in whatever way means necessary for me to get it, whether that means stealing, whether that means whatever. So it's like, what do we think that they're setting up for? And then, oh, what will it be now, close to Thanksgiving or in December, some type of fucking check that he's going to want to come and give us to be the savior, to save the day? No, I think that Americans, hopefully at this point, whether whoever the fuck you voted for, you better be really opening your eyes right now, right? And understanding you got played,
Yep.
okay?
Everything is a scam.
Understand you got played. Understand the moves and the decisions that you need to make moving forward, because you should be able to see what's happening right now.
Yeah. And I think that, like, when you're growing up and you realize that, like, everything is this game or this scam and we are in this political arena right now, and you're thinking, like, oh, like, what is the power? You know, like, what is my voice? Yes, it's going to your local, like, coalitions, people that are campaigning to do certain things, protests, and always, like, be safe at protests, obviously. But I think that more so it's about understanding how we can push forward in our own lives and individually. We have to take care of ourselves. If we, like, want actual change to happen, that means that we have to work to have money in our bank accounts and, like, have skills
And
that
I'm gonna be
are
honestly, I'm gonna
survival.
pause you right there. Bank accounts, I really feel like we need to be pulling out of the banks.
Get cash.
Okay, the cash, turn it into gold, right? Because we have to really think about where this is heading, what we probably will or won't be able to stop realistically, right? And preparing for blackouts, preparing for not having some heat and hot water, preparing for, the food shortages,
Yeah.
preparing for these type of things that they're purposefully going, situations that they're purposefully going to put us into, so that we can be in a fight or flight situation. And then, then have reason to now bring in the National Guard, have reason for the National Guard to turn against us, because they're trying to turn us into fucking animals.
And we
Okay.
need to prepare so that we don't have this flight or fight response. Like, we don't, like, freeze up or like, not know what to do. We need to think ahead and think together and think as one and think about, like, our exit strategy and, like,
And I think thinking that part of thinking ahead is thinking about exiting the banks, as
yeah.
even though yes we're still in it. Everybody say, well, when are we gonna stop being able to pay rent? Is it today? Just
Right.
tell me what day we
We're ready
doing
for
this.
it.
And we probably won't get a notification on that, but we got to be prepared.
Yeah.
We got to be prepared for not for the day where you work your 9 to 5, you work your whatever jobs, more than one job, several jobs, and all that money you collected that you expect to see in your bank account is no longer there.
Yeah.
And that's all we're going to get.
Crazy,
And nothing
like,
else.
what
Imagine that.
world?
Like, then what?
Yeah.
Then what? Then we'll be back at a time where bartering has to now come back. But what is that? That's going back into community. You see, it's like all this shit gonna have to come down. The system's gonna have to burn. The
And it's gonna be
system's gonna
basic
have to come down and crash, and be oblivion, like what is it? Obliterated.
obliterated. Yep.
Be just
Completely
diminished
burned down.
completely. And what it's gonna look like, don't know exactly. Like Caleb mentioned, I do mention the movies. I say that I feel like we've been prepared, programmed, desensitized, because when we started seeing movies like the Will Smith I Am Robot, and just countless, 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 countless movies where doomsday is coming and we're gonna be like Walking Dead and zombies and chips in our bodies, and not to say everything like that is gonna play out, but some things are.
Yeah. It's gonna be similar. And I think that when we think or we try to think about a solution or we think about what we could do for ourselves, it goes back to what our elders have done, what our ancestors have done, and
They go back to community.
community.
That's where it all
always
goes
all
back to.
roads lead back.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why we need to be more selfless in our actions and what we're choosing to do. And yes, take care of ourselves, but have that selfless mind and return back to just how we are naturally, like at our inner child, like who we are to the core, because that's what's going to be important now. And even with AI, it's like we're moving into the society where things are that we had to put energy towards are now going to be easier for us. So our energy can be put towards ideas and creation. And I think that us collectively, and especially the younger generation, need to be visionaries, and we need to all envision what we want this world to look like after, because it's gonna come burn down and there's gonna be a rebirth, and we have to be prepared. We have to be prepared to protect ourselves, and we have to be prepared to come out of the other side. That means that participating in trading and bartering, and like not just the crafts but like food pantries and all of that stuff that move it along.
Also, time to get your spirit right.
Yeah.
Whatever that means to you, it's not a time for me to teach it. But if you hear what I'm saying, it's time to get your spirit right. Your spirit, mind, body, soul, all that. Thoughts,
Peace.
get them in alignment.
Yes.
You understand? Because there's a way bigger picture playing out here. And it's not just even about this capitalistic society or world that we live in. It's a bigger picture. Because this crash is happening, what they say, as above, so below, right? So whatever it is that we're experiencing here on this plane, above is experiencing the same type of thing in a different way and form. We need to be thinking about things in those lines as well, right? Because it's the energy, it's your energy, it's your thoughts, it's your vibrations as individuals and as a collective that's going to push us in whatever direction it is that we're going to go. So take care of your spirit.
And not only that, like spiritual and energetically, the earth is dying, and we're not able to save it because of certain systems in place that we're so used to. Like we don't even know our connection to Mother Gaia or the earth, or like how plants heal us, and how just grounding and other factors that have been studied and have media outreach and people invested in it, but it's not a grand knowledge that everyone knows.
No.
And it's not something that it's
Because they don't want us to know.
right.
Because they made doctors and medicine and all of these, type of pharmaceutical stuff to fit along in the capitalistic society of things.
And
to,
there's
to fit
even
along with that
legislation now.
narrative.
It's like we can't like grow food, and like farmers are
On your
being
own land.
limited, and it's just all crashing down and making no sense. So that means we have to learn, and we have to put our thinking caps on and get our spirits right and be at peace.
And understand that you never owned anything.
Yeah.
You never, no matter what mortgage you pay, what rent you pay, what car note you pay, you never owned anything. Because one, none of the shit you think you touching is real in the first place. Two, anything you can touch and buy and you think you own can also be taken away from you.
Yep.
Therefore, you never truly owned it. What you do own is you. Who is the you? Your spirit, your soul.
Thoughts.
That is what you own. That is what you have the power over. And that should have been all of our main focuses all of this time. But it wasn't. And it's time to get back to that. If you wasn't there already, it's time to get to it, because the bigger picture is that.
And that's not a scary place to be. That's not a scary place to, if whatever your reaction may be to that, I think that detachment or that level of not attaching yourself to items and materials is a very foundational way to live happily and joyfully, and be able to appreciate things more and be grateful for things and use your power more. Because when you know you don't own anything, you're so like you can appreciate it, and you can
Your perspectives
live
are
with
different.
that. Your perspective
How you handle
changes.
things are different. How you react to things are different.
Your actions change.
How you react to losing the material is different. You know what I'm saying? Because if you really know you never really, that was never yours,
Yeah.
then what?
And I think what's most important for us to think about, and what I think about now, is how do we want to spend our time on earth? And why are these easy? We're spending our time focused on gaining these things that are our rights and should be our natural rights, but we have to fight for them. So what would all of that energy go towards if we didn't have to use it for this?
So this kind of feels like we sacrificed a lot. What we've been doing all this time, what we've been playing into, was contributing to the sacrifice of our true purpose of being here in the first place.
Yeah.
We've been contributing to our own demise all of this time. And now, when systems crash like this, as ours is beginning to, when we get to see the world from a different lens now that a lot of us have been duped, then what do you have to now rely on? You have to rely on you. You have to rely on your spirit. You have to rely on your family. You have to rely on your community now.
And your intuition. Because I think about like all of the time that I have to now spend knowing that it's a scam, actively participating in the scam. And it's like,
The mind fuck.
yeah, like, and then participating in it just drains your energy. And so you have to figure out a way to fill your cup and get the action out, and the thoughts that lead to that action to do what you know your purpose is, and those little whispers that tell you what you should be doing and where you should go and who you should meet, and all of these alignments that naturally happen when you think a certain way. All of those things are beautiful, they're magical, but it's hard to focus on it when you also got to go to work, and you got to go to work like every day just to pay for this or pay for living or whatever. And it's really hard, I think, like for someone coming up who's younger, to have to get acclimated to that, and then also get acclimated to, what are we gonna do. But my thing was like what you talked about earlier. I was working on like content and stuff for a long time, and I had a lot of feelings of doubt, fear, and disguised despair around like doing things and taking action. And all of my friends, I'm surrounded by such creative people, and we're all like, oh, like I have to do something anyway, so I might as well be doing the thing that I actually want to do, and that can be possibly fun at some point, like, or can give me like some sort of sense of fulfillment. It's getting to a point where we're all just, I'm gonna just do whatever, and I'm gonna see where I end up, right? And I think that sense of trust, it's coming from a lack of trust in our political systems and our organization, and it's also coming from our inner intuition of just being tired. Our soul is exhausted because it's not being fed properly. And I think that as we reprogram these things, we get new perspectives and we get new thoughts and we do new actions. Now it's like, I have no time for insecurity or doubt or fear, because I have to start thinking about the future and envisioning. It's not as if I want to save the world single-handedly, but I'm gonna try at this point, because what else is there to do but put your energy towards this? And then when one person gets like that, that becomes contagious. And I think that I was on the phone with my friend, with Lori, the other day, and we were talking about how we were talking about aliens and like conspiracies and stuff, but the meaning of life, right? And we were talking about like heaven or hell. And I think that my stance is that whatever is after this or whatever came before this, I have my personal opinions, but I don't think any of that matters, because we're all the same energy. So if I'm choosing to not live in despair or to not have this negative connotation about certain things, and I've seen the effect of it aligning me with certain people and certain actions and certain outcomes, then I have proof now that my thoughts and what I choose to do and the energy I choose to uplift myself actually does something. So what am I going to do? I'm going to focus on that. It's hard, but like you have to maintain your focus on this is a means to an end. And so thinking a certain way and thinking maybe overly positively or logic, but also being a visionary and using our God gifted imagination, it's like we can now have this, we can get to an end using our means of what's natural to us and our power and our powerful brains. And I think that it's so important to make that decision every single time, because I told her that's what matters. Like, this conversation matters because we are sharing our energy, and we know our stances on this. Every time we say a positive thing to one another and uplift one another, that matters. It's not like your tattoo, like everything matters. So it's
Over here,
about the
guys. It's over
choice.
here. It says
Yes. And I love
everything
that tattoo.
matters.
And it's so beautiful to live that way, because this whole year I've seen the effects of that, of making those decisions and being in my power. And as a young person, it's easy to just try and be in the system, but it's not easy at all now. I feel like maybe for older generations, actually, it was easier because you're promised this end of like, I do this amount of work and I'll get this. I know I'll get this because I know the way that this works. But now there's no trust whatsoever. There's no end. It's all doom. So it's like,
And I
what
mean,
do I do?
we as Americans, America has seen things similar to this when it comes to presidents that have been in office,
Yeah.
right? Definitely. However, the difference that I would say between then and what's happening now is that we have a person who will probably try to get a third term. You know what I'm saying? Which is not supposed to be happening. But, I feel like he might try to pull a Bloomberg, where he made him somehow magically got himself a third term when that was never a thing, right? And that is the part. I mean, yes, so much fucked up shit. Black people have not had equal rights. We've always been the target, even though when it comes to drugs, the war on drugs, all of this shit, the stuff that they put into our communities and then want to then blame us for and put our men in jail for, right?
For free labor.
Okay, when it was purposefully put there for us into our communities to destroy us. And then somehow we were not the victims, we are the criminals for being victimized for using the drugs that was dropped into our communities. But that stuff is going on. But things change, but they remain the same, right? At the end of the day, people have seen this, but I don't think what we have seen or experienced yet is the potential to basically be taken over by a dictator. I think that I think is like something that's making this situation feel even more dire than any other previous presidency.
It's dire, and we're in the industrial revolution age when it comes to AI and what this is going to do to our lives. There is no stopping, and we don't even know the plans in place, but there's no legislation of substance around AI yet.
I mean,
and
look at
I'm
how
so
the
angry about
actors
that.
had to go on strike due to AI, all right? Worried about their images
amount
and
of
being used without their permission. And they even put that on. That was in the episode of Black Mirror. Like, that was at the forefront
Black Mirror is
of
so
it.
real for that.
Love Black
Like,
Mirror.
it's so scary. But like, we can think positively about this. Like, AI will change our lives, and now
Already has.
people, and we need to understand it. We need to really see what these tech companies are doing and go to these conventions and conferences, and or at least me, and like just get an understanding around what this machine can do and what it's going to look like and what it could possibly look like.
I saw a video, and I don't know how true this is, but this guy said that AI cannot read cursive. I really want to know that if there's truth behind that.
Do we need to bring cursive back?
I think no, and here was his point. He said AI cannot read cursive, and he tied that into why do you think that they stopped teaching that in schools?
Yep.
I'm like, maybe this is a note we should keep. I'm gonna keep
Keep
that.
in the brain.
I'm gonna keep
I got
that.
my
I gotta
cursive writing
research. I
books.
gotta see if
I've been
that's
practicing.
actually true. But I heard that, and I thought that was really fucking interesting.
And you know what? To be an American is to know that this nation has been built on free labor,
Oh yeah,
slaves.
yeah,
So
yeah.
like now that we have something like AI, it can look like lives not being ruined, and people not being inferior to another person, and us all just being human and using this tool. But of course it's not going to look like that, because who's in charge of it, we have to. I mean, I don't have no idea
But
how.
there's also like, look at how AI is being used for deep fakes. I watched this video. I don't know if you guys know Neil deGrasse, like just
Yeah,
this genius of a black man.
I watched his master class. I love
Love
him, the way he
him
talks.
and how real he is, um, and how educated. And it was a deep fake of him. Everything looked real in this
mm,
video, but he had Neil deGrasse saying the Earth is flat.
mm.
And if you know Neil deGrasse, you know damn well he don't think that. But like and so you watched the deep fake AI of him saying that, and then they wiped it away, and you saw the real him saying, "This was not me. This was it." And it's like, wow,
It's
like
so scary. Jesus.
they can make it so that it appears as if real people are doing anything that they choose for us to be seen doing or saying.
And
That's
that
very
brings us
scary.
back to discernment. We have to teach our Gen Alpha discernment, and what it means to have multiple sources, secondary
Right. How
sources,
to
first
see what's
sources,
real. Hmm.
how to know what's real, how to trust your intuition.
Even when it comes to books, I like that I learned early to always look at who the author is and their reason for writing whatever they're writing.
Yeah.
Just because you read words, and even if they're words you agree with, right? Sometimes we're very inclined to just, when we read words that we do agree with and we attach to, we just take it as fact instead of considering who's the author, who's this person, what are they saying, why are they saying it, is there, is them saying whatever this is giving them some type of advantage, or basically what, or is it just their narrowed perspective that they're speaking on and saying things as if it's fact. Like we all have to like you said, have real discernment when it comes to, and I don't even think it's Gen Alpha, it's grown ass people. Look at who
Yeah.
people voted for, so obviously people don't know how to fucking do that no matter what age
No
you are, right?
discernment.
Like no fucking discernment. None.
People
Where
stop
is it?
reading.
There's
People
just like a
just,
lot of gullibility, and there's a lot of what
yes.
I just said. Somebody says one thing that aligns with whatever they already had in their
This
head,
echo
because
chamber.
right, and it's not you actually, like, even assess yourself and your opinion. Why do you have that fucking opinion? What are you basing it off of? Or you just
Yeah.
running with a feeling that you had and just expressing yourself as if shit is factual out here.
Yeah.
That's what a lot of people do, and a lot of people jump on the bandwagon of these people that's doing that, and then next you have this whole wave of people saying shit or
And that's the easy route, because all of that takes introspection and work that people are too lazy to do. And then they are not even realizing that they're gullible because they're so hyped up on their opinions.
well, I don't know about y'all, but I am always waiting to see who how, is. Are we gonna turn up? Is the turn up? Is the turn up? I don't know. Do you think that the turn up? I'm talking about revolution. I'm talking about out in the streets. I'm talking about people in D.C. People going to the White House. I'm talking about just like people stormed the fucking Capitol and got away with it because of the type of
Yeah.
people they were. But what if the masses?
I know people are angry, especially in my generation. I think Gen Z is so angry. I'm keep asking myself, like, is Gen Z strong enough? Like, are we
Hmm.
actually going to go out, or are we just big talk? Because I know that I got myself to a place where I'm not just big talk. And I feel like we're all on this self-help, self-healing journey, but that means like a lot of work and not taking the easy route. So I just am curious. Like, I think that we can. I always think that we can. But I think it's a matter of will we? Will people discern where they want to put their money? Like, will people read about and actually ingest what's going on and make choices based off of that? Or are they just going to, watch my stories and then be like, oh, yeah, that's crazy?
Right? While they eat their popcorn and shit.
Right.
Damn.
But it's like, okay, what are we gonna do about it? And it's like, what can I do? But I think that there are things to do, and I want to get myself to a focused enough place that I'm doing things that matter, and I'm doing only that, and I'm thinking about my identity. Who am I? I'm a content creator. I create content. I don't have to worry about all the intricacies that don't matter. I'm just gonna go through it and I'm gonna learn. And we're afraid of learning. I'm afraid of we've talked about being afraid of like experiences and experiencing life and stuff, but it's like there's no time for that anymore.
Get your shit together real fast.
It's like, get your shit together now, right now. And that's been this whole year for me. Like, I needed this gap year to figure it out right now, and I've been able to do that. And I just hope that everyone in my generation, everyone around me personally, is going through that right now. And I'm so proud of everyone around me, because I know where it could go, and I know like the sky's the limit. And so if we keep being in conversation, if we keep using our little personal accounts to share what's going on and talk about it and have open and honest conversation and keep joy alive and keep the fun alive and just try and do the best for ourselves, like, that's all we can ask of each other.
This is also the time to organize, right? Organize communities, gather communities, start thinking about these things as a collective. What's the plan? What can we do? What will we do? How are we going to pull our resources together? How are we going to, make sure that we are going to be able to sustain in the midst of whatever drastic shit comes our way,
And that's what I'm learning. Like, as you said this, I'm like, oh, this is just a community change studies like class right now, a little lecture. But that learning process of what it means to organize and the art of gathering is, so that's actually the name of a book, very good book.
What,
The Art of Gathering. The Art of Gathering, yeah. And it's like so important, as you just said, like organizing is of the utmost importance, and we see a lot of that in New York, and there's a lot of really good coalitions, but all it takes is a little research on your end. Research into one thing that you care about, or research into resources around you, or what you can personally do or trade or whatever. Like, Facebook Marketplace is a great place, and a place already being used to trade, and third-party apps that are being used as well. So I know that people in the tech industries are doing things, and it's just a matter of finding those things and using them and sharing them with the masses. And
what if it comes to violence? This is what I'm talking
Yeah.
about. I'm talking about some Malcolm X by any means necessary shit. Like, we don't hear that.
we don't.
What do you think about that? I mean, not that I was alive for that, but sorry, like, I miss the revolutionaries. I miss,
Black Panthers.
yeah, even though they are still in existence
They are.
in certain places and stuff like that. But yeah, groups like the Black Panthers and what they originally stood for, and like, that foundation played a very pivotal role in Black communities,
It did.
like all over the United States. And it's the essence of what they provided that we need to get back to. Where's the men? Where's the men that, because also everybody is not a fighter, right? Like, in
Comes
the
down to
revolution,
individual.
it's about understanding, and with organization comes understanding that everybody has a part to play. I remember I taught first graders a few years ago about, we were studying Trinidad, and then we were studying the colonization of Trinidad I never knew that Trinidad was colonized by Christopher Columbus and his people. I didn't fucking know that before learning it in order to teach the students. And when we were going through, I was learning as I was teaching. I was like, oh, wow, they took over first, and then they came, and then they came, and then they came. wow, right? And this is how this name came and this name was given, right? Like there's names that we're calling places that wasn't even the original name. We're calling it the names that the settlers, these white people came and gave to their to a group of people that were already there. Like so much shit that we think just is because we were told has so much history prior to the history that we've been taught. So it's like once you learn history, you also got to
Gotta
learn
relearn.
to dig deeper into that
What's the
history
actual
to get the
history?
real roots and foundation of that group or of that group of people or whatever or that place in which they were living. But I'm talking about revolution, like hitting the
Yeah.
streets, like you got to really go up against these people face to face, and everybody plays a different role. You got the warriors, those are the fighters. You got you might have the elders. You have the spiritual people. What used to happen
Council.
when in Africa, certain tribes, when men went off to war, what were the women doing? It's not just about taking care of home and children. They were the mental. They were meditating. They were getting the spiritual vibes in, you understand, in
Yeah.
order. They were sending the vibrations to their men and to their warriors to help them. They were aiding in their own way. It's not everybody's not built to be on the front lines, right? And I learned that about people in general. Everybody's not built the same, but everybody does have a purpose and everybody does play a part. It's just about figuring out what your part is. Maybe a large majority of us, yeah, we gotta fight with like blackouts and boycotting certain things. Maybe some of us got to start forming community watch groups, or men got to start forming groups against ICE, getting prepared for ICE to come, the strong men, I'm talking about them gangsters, like form, like, and that does happen.
It is
That
happening
does
with
happen.
cartel.
That does happen. And that's what I love to see. That's the beauty
Yeah.
of this shit. That we are a resilient people. We can get through this if we do truly understand and live by the fact that there is power in the masses. Understand what that means. Understand that we are the 99% is obviously larger than the 1%. Understand that. Understand what that means and what that looks like. Understand who really holds the power and what that is and how you take your power back as a person, as an individual, and then try to expand that to your community.
Yeah. Even like in my studies class, when we were doing protests, there would be like color coded actions that you could take. Like if you were prepared to like had your like legal documents and you had a lawyer, if you were prepared to like
That
possibly get
part too,
arrested.
having lawyers, having
Yes.
doctors, having, yeah, people with different skill sets on a team,
Yeah,
having
different skill.
farmers,
Yep.
having people that know agriculture, having people that know bush woman, what? Give me a bush woman any day, okay? Or a
Sinners.
bushman,
Yes.
okay? You know how fucking valuable they are, especially in this time that we're in? Everybody needs a bushman. And when I say that, I'm talking about people that know all the herbs. You can tell them the ailment. They can tell you the herbs to get, how to use it, what to do, blah, blah, blah. These type of people that hold wisdom that we need to
Forming a
be passed
council.
down, okay?
Yes.
And these are the people that society try to fucking kill off because that they're going against the capitalistic society. They're going against trying to gain, putting money into the pharmaceuticals' hands to make them get a big profit. Oh, if everybody went to the bushwoman and everybody knew the power and in our natural resources and the foods, the fruits, the vegetables around us, and you didn't have to take a fucking pill that was designed to keep you sick and keep you coming back for more pills. To keep paying
It's all.
money that's not real money because money has not been backed by gold in how fucking long. Shit's just been printed and printed and printed like it's play money right now. So fuck it. Bushwoman and a bushman, find them valuable people.
Yeah. Moving on to closing statements and takeaways, I think that we've talked about the possible solutions being community and things that will help us in having a mindset of how to push forward and moving forward. I think that everything is a scam. You come to a point. Then there's a video of Kevin Hart saying this and talking about this in an interview, like everything is a scam, and once you learn it, you accept it, you grieve that, what's the next step?
You figure out your part you're going to play in it.
Exactly. You figure out your part. And my takeaway is that you have to believe that you have a part, even if you don't know what. Believe that you will find it. Have faith. And that's not faith in one figure. That's not faith in this, you know, like, oh, things are just going to get better and I don't have to worry about it. Da, 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 da. Like, no, like, have faith in yourself that you can have control over your own life and the lives around you, because we do have impact on every scale, small and large. And we're seeing so much happen that we can't stay in this desensitized state of, you know, doom. Like, you simply can't. There's no more time for that. And yeah, that's my takeaway. I think that younger generations and everyone should just be reading a lot more, reading multiple sources. And I'm in love with Substack. That's all I gotta say. Yeah.
Okay, don't know what that is, but what is that?
It's like a platform where people just write articles about whatever. Some of them are paid, some of them are not.
Okay.
And very like astute writing, like great.
Okay. My takeaway is that don't look for no savior. Don't look for a Superman. Don't look for God to come down, Jesus, whatever person name that you feel you believe in and worship. Understand we are all of one spirit. Understand that everything, even religion that's been put out there, yes, there's truth within it, but multiple things can be true at the same time. So understand this is a time about self-reflection. This is a time about getting your spirit right. This is a time about protecting energy. This is a time to harvest your energy and give it when the time is right. This is a time to be humbling yourself and paying close attention, not to worry, because worrying is not the answer. This is a time to try to be as settled and as calm within your mind as you can, because the time is going to be coming for all of us to play our part in whatever way we were meant to play our part, whether you're ready for it or not, whether you know what your part is or not, whether you were expected to, you feel that you know what you need to do or not. Get ready. That's my takeaway.
And with that being said, I want to take this time to thank you all for joining us on this long journey of the Bridge by Three. I'm so thankful to you guys for being here with us and chatting. Please comment your thoughts on what's
Comment,
going
because
on.
also we want to know, and then maybe take a poll. Should we change the name now that it's just two? Should it be the Bridge by Two? I really like the
Yeah.
Bridge by Three, just because three is such a significant
And we
number.
will have guests.
We will.
So.
But, three such a significant number, I feel spiritually.
Same. But we thought of the Bridge by Three as more of a trinity of pillars of the bridge. And in essence, you guys are all the pillars. We are all standing hand in hand together. So we really want to make sure that you're a part of this transition and you're a part of this era moving forward. Like, subscribe, and thank you guys for watching.
Thank you.